in economics, if you ever hear an economist being certain of one thing, be careful. I think what we have right now is we're at the center of the difficulties. Inflation has come down, but is still high. Interest rate went from 0 to 5%. We have two wars. It's very difficult right now. The fourth quarter of 2003, the first quarter of 2024. This is going to be a difficult 6-month period. If in the spring, inflation has behaved as expected and is coming down, we could have some help from monetary policy.
That's Eric Girard providing his economic update yesterday. Brace yourselves for 6 months that don't look so good. Let's find out more with Moshe Lander. Maybe he was talking about you, Moshe, when he mentioned economists off the top that think they know what's going to happen here. Moshe, welcome to the program. Of course, Moshe is a senior lecturer in economics at Concordia University. Welcome back.
I like that inclusion at the beginning there. That was a nice little reminder to be humble.
So next 6 months, well, do you think is Eric Girard right at least about the next 6 months?
Well, I don't know if I should be certain about this anymore now. Well, I think the reason he chose 6 months was not because he views this as being something that's going to last 6 months. It's that it's 6 months until they're going to have to present their budget. And so I think it's setting the table for, in 6 months' time, if inflation hasn't behaved itself, as he said, then that gives cover to the government to delay, cancel, or change any of its plans, and then blaming the inflation situation or the Bank of Canada for that decision.
Can we talk about, you mentioned the interest rates, right? It went from 0% to 5%, right? And obviously that hurts the wallets and pocketbooks of not just regular people, but of the government as well. And he's saying there, okay, but if we see that weakening of the economy, then interest rates will go down and then it'll be fine. There's no guarantee of that, right? Like interest rates could be 5% or higher a year from now, just as likely as they could go back down. Am I off base here? We just don't know.
Well, I think if we're saying it's just as likely, I think it's likelier that it would go down than it would go up. But the medium to long term forecast for interest rates is that they'd probably settle somewhere around 3%. So the issue is, once inflation is tamed again, then it's how fast does the Bank of Canada move to reduce interest rates. They're not going to do it nearly as fast as they increased interest rates because that risks unleashing inflation again. And once you manage to get that genie back in the bottle, you're not letting it out. So, the issue is how fast can that be corrected, and then how much time does the Bank of Canada want to take before they reduce it? I don't see that as being a 6-month exercise. I think that's going to be something that's going to happen over a period of a couple of years. So I don't know that interest rates will go up. I just don't think they're going to come down that quickly either.
Moshe, I want to play one more clip here from the Finance Minister, Eric Girard, and it's when the subject of the recession comes up. Listen to how the Finance Minister characterizes it.
So what we have is, if you look at Canada, because for Canada we have data up to October, and for Quebec it's only up to July. But if you look at the last 7 months for Canada, 6 of them were either 0% monthly growth or negative growth. In spite of that, we're not in a recession in a traditional sense where employment is falling, confidence is plummeting, production is halting. We are not witnessing the behavior that are associated with a recession, but we're also not witnessing growth. So that we're oscillating around 0% growth. That's why I called it stagnation.
Stagnation, Moshe, what say you?
Yeah, I actually agree with him in this case. I've said to you before that whatever it is that we're going to experience here as far as the recession goes is not your parents' 20th century style recession. It was so difficult to find labor coming out of COVID. Just months ago, we were talking about all of the help wanted signs that you'd be seeing in stores and restaurants everywhere. So I think what we're going to see this time around is that when the economy slows, as it has been, I think that we're going to see labor hoarding. And so businesses are going to say, look, we could fire you, but we're just not sure we're going to be able to find you again in 6 months' time or in a year's time. So why don't we hold on to you? Maybe we'll give you stagnant pay, maybe even a little bit of a pay cut, but we'll find stuff to do with you to just keep you occupied. And then when things pick up, at least we know that you're still here with us. So he is right to that sense then that, yeah, unemployment won't skyrocket, employment won't plummet, confidence won't fall as significantly. It's interesting, though, to me that in the clip, what caught me was he doesn't have data for Quebec until up to July, yet we have data for Canada up to October. I do think that does include Quebec. And I think maybe the reason why they don't have that data is because it's going to show that Quebec lags behind almost every province in terms of its economic position. And so to whatever extent Canada is stagnating, Quebec is doing worse.
So let's get to that, right? So Moshe, because I think you're right, and I think we actually do know that Quebec is falling behind economically here. What do you think's behind that? I mean, a part of my brain says, well, you know what, the ramifications of Bill 96, it is causing a chill in the business community. But is there any other place you can point that why Quebec the growth here is slower than the rest of Canada?
Yeah, it's a lot of these government policies, and so even just the way that they've approached the English universities in the last month, that sort of uncertainty has ramifications beyond just the universities itself. That's sending a clear signal to businesses as well as to what this government thinks about the future of the economy and the disproportionate focus that it continues to place on these issues that probably don't resonate with the major cities and with the majority of businesses. And so when you start introducing uncertainty, businesses are going to run. And when they run, that takes economic activity with it too. And so I think that this is a government that consistently has lost its focus on the broader issues and harps and picks on very, very minute issues that probably aren't at the top of Quebecers' list, but where you maybe score a couple of votes here, a couple of votes there, in the medium to long run, it's going to cause harm. And we're seeing it now, but it's going to persist even when an economic recovery comes. I don't think that Quebec is going to recover as strongly as the rest of Canada either.
We're with Moshe Lander from Concordia University talking about Finance Minister Eric Girard's economic update. So Moshe, become the finance minister here. What you can control, because clearly he can't control what the language hawks and his party are doing. So based on what he can control, what should the finance minister be doing in these times?
He needs to be lightening up. He needs to be letting the economy as much as possible find its own way. And so, the majority of these laws that we're seeing coming from different parts of his government are trying to micromanage different aspects, whether that's language, whether that's education, whether that's religion, whatever it is that their particular focus is on. If you're going to have then parts of government are trying to micromanage the economy and micromanage the behavior of individuals and businesses, then he needs to be finding a way to lighten the touch. So things as easy as lowering tax rates and letting us decide how we want to use our money a little bit more, and providing an environment in which businesses want to come locate here, despite some of the other attempts by governments to encourage them to do otherwise. Those are the types of things then that will help create a revenue base and give him room that he can spend without tipping the government's budget into deep deficit.
Can I ask you here? They're not sending out checks, right? They're not going to do what they did last Christmas and send out checks to everyone in December. They're going towards tax indexation moves and measures. What are your thoughts on that? Is that the right decision?
Yeah, we've seen that some of that spillover from all of the money spending that came pre-election, post-election, is contributing to Quebec's above average inflation rate compared to the rest of Canada. It's hard not to pump $1 billion into the local economy and not think that spills over into prices. So if he's saying that his concern is that he needs 6 months to see inflation come down, and he knows that's not entirely within his control, he can at least do his bit by not handing out checks and not handing out money that doesn't boost the long-run capacity of the economy.
Moshe, we have to leave it there. Thanks for your crystal ball. It's always appreciated on the show.
Anytime.
Moshe Lander is a senior lecturer in economics at Concordia University.